So we took our drill, we found the right size drill bit for our belly plug. We drilled the hole out. Deep enough for the belly plug to fit in there good. And this is our belly plug that we made earlier. All I did was bend the wire over the top. I took a little super glue and dropped it in there, and there's our belly plug we made. Fits in the lure nicely, okay? I'll leave it protruding a little bit, and when we sand the lure, it'll fit nice and it'll be protruding and it'll be glued in place where it can't come out. This is really strong, it's been proven. So the next step is doing the sanding. We'll take the plug and we'll just start sanding the plug, all angles and everything till we get it right. Then I'll show you the next step from there. Alright, to not bore y'all with sanding, I have sanded about all I'm going to sand by hand. I've rounded it off as much as I want to round it off. Pretty simple. You do it as much as you want. You can contour it more at the nose and the tail, round them off a little more. This is a flat bait, so I didn't sand as much. We got real smooth, pretty lines, and it don't have to be perfect. Balsa wood doesn't sand out super duper smooth, especially a medium density, so you sand it to the shape that you want and leave it at that. Once we get into the painting, you'll see how to hide all that stuff and make the lure real tough. But you know, eyeball it when you're sanding it, get it real uniform and even on both sides, and that's all you got to do. So you sand it as much as you want it to get the appearance you want, and then the next step is gluing in the belly plug, and we're going to drill a hole in the tail that we're going to put our rear hook hanger in, and then we're going to put our whiteout on it. Instead of sealing the wood, we're going to seal it with a tough paint. So alright, this is going to be our rear hook hanger. This is 035 wire. We twisted around a drill bit. We took a drill bit that was kind of small, that size hole, or any little thing that you got, you know, wrap it around it like that, and then you start twisting the wire with some pliers. I'm not going to get into all those little details because most of you guys can figure it out, but you take some pliers, little teeth on them, and you just start twisting, and you come up with this. And this is what's going to be our rear hook hanger. Okay, it looks like just a piece of wire twisted. So the next step, we're going to drill a hole with a 1/16 drill bit in the butt. So we're going to drill right here. Balsa wood's super soft. See that? We've already got it all shaped and stuff. So we need to check the length of our little rear hook hanger that we made and see if it's going to fit. It's a little short, so we'll just cut it off. Cut it to fit. And once you glue this in place, I don't care what they say, this is strong. Alright, so we've cut it off so it'll fit. We're going to test fit it. And once we glue it in place, we'll have a rear hook hanger. And then we'll glue our belly plug in place so we ain't got to mix glue but once. And then the next step will be sealing our wood or whiteout. We call it whiteout because we're going to paint it, so we're going to dip it in a white enamel paint to make it real hard. So we'll glue these in, and all you got to do is mix up epoxy. And you saw how we made the belly plug. You saw how we made the rear hook hanger. It's real simple, and this will stay in there. Once it's epoxied in, it'll stay in there good. Later on, I'm going to show you how to make 2-piece lures with a 1-piece wire. They take a lot of time to make, but this works fine. It's really strong. So the next step is gluing in the stuff. So we mixed up some 2-part clear epoxy, and we glued our belly plug in. You can see the way it's protruding a little bit, which we'll sand it all, and it'll be uniform all the way around it. You won't be able to tell. And we also epoxied in our rear hook hanger. So the epoxy dries in 5-10 minutes. So once it's dry, we'll hit it with a little sandpaper and blend that in good, and the next step will be dipping it in the paint. Alright YouTube, we've sanded our lure after the epoxy dried around the belly plug, around the tail hook hanger. We sanded it nice, just smoothed it out. Got it all uniform all the way around. We've eyeballed it front to rear, looks good. So we took a regular paper clip, just a normal paper clip, bent it and stuck it down in where the bill's going to go. It's easy to stick that down in that soft balsa wood, and we're going to use this to handle it while we dip it in paint. The paint we have is just a Ace Hardware oil-based enamel high hiding white. The enamel paints are tougher, and they seal the plug real good, and you want white because that's going to be the base coat of the lure. So we're going to dip the lure in the paint 2 or 3 dips like this, and then hang it up and let it dry. Alright, so we're dipping the paint, the lure in the paint. We're going to dip it and let it drip dry 3 or 4 times. You want it to dry real smooth, so you just hold it over the paint can, dip it in. We'll probably do this 2 times. You can sand it after the first time. It dries real good. You can sand out anything that you see, and then dip it again. It should be really smooth, ready to take a paint job. Alright, YouTube, we've let our paint dry overnight after the first time dipping it, and it's not completely smooth. You'll have places that are a little rough, but we're going to sand it and we're going to dip it again, let it dry again overnight, sand a little more. You can see it a little better once you've dipped it the first time in the paint. You can see what's going on with it a little better, and it's had time to dry real hard. So we'll sand it, give it a good sanding, and dip it again, and the next time we should be ready to clean out the bill slot and paint it.